Hello YNABers, my name is Jesse Meekum from YNAB. It stands for You Need a Budget. You do. I'm sorry. We all do. But sometimes you can mix it up a little bit and think about it in a different way that kind of brings it to life again. And this time I want to talk about maybe like budget madness to play off of something else that's going on right now. So if you were to list all of your categories, which is a fancy word for priorities or fancy word for goals or values, you list them all, you start writing them all down, just every one of your categories, then you could rank them. Or you could seed them, you could give them seeds. You could say this is my first seed category, most important, second seed, third seed, fourth seed. And you go all the way down and you rank those values just in order of importance, like life-sustaining all the way down to some random category that only you have, right? All the way down there. And that ranking is very difficult, just like the rankings in basketball are very difficult, and it's a big secret unless it's leaked. So when you end up with all those categories listed, then you get to draw your bracket. And it would be a really fun thing to have a bracket tournament with all of your office mates, where instead of talking about which team you think is going all the way, you could be talking about what categories are most important to you. It's kind of like a getting to know you game. So you could share your bracket with a friend or coworker. So the bracket would look something like this, and you would seed like top seed and then lowest seed and just start working your way down. And you know the end results, just like you don't know the end result of your actual bracket, but start looking at it this way. It's kind of a fun way to view things where you'd say, well, here's clearly my most important, here's my least important, and you see which one wins in a showdown where money is finite. And the end game is really just to recognize that money is finite and you have trade-offs, constant trade-offs that you got to make. And at the end of the day, when you're looking at a basketball game, you've got the coach making their halftime adjustments and all that, you can think about your situation the same way. You've got these adjustments you need to make, and you've got these priorities, and they conflict with each other sometimes. And 1 month, something may be more important than another. It's very fluid, and it can change. Sometimes it can surprise you, like your real bracket and some of the upsets that might happen. So put it in a bracket and figure out kind of what are your final 4 priorities. It's kind of fun, different way of thinking about it. And of course, you know I'm going to say this, but as you're doing this, and if you're in a shared financial situation, you actually would want to make sure you had the same bracket, right? Where you could say, these are our final 4 categories. They're the big ones. These are the ones we hit no matter what. And as you get out more to the fringe, to be able to play in the big game, like you get out here to those early rounds, this stuff is fun. They're really fun, but you kind of know the outcome, right? Early on, you kind of know, yeah, this one, definitely more important than this one. But as you get here into that final 4 scenario, that's where it starts to become interesting, because these really important priorities, sometimes you don't know which way they'll go. And getting down to those, just the 4, the big 4, the final 4. Just getting to those final 4, you end up being able to ask yourself really hard questions like, if my money were doing these things, how would I feel? Sometimes we ask, what should my money do before I'm paid again? But I was talking with my friend Mark that does a lot of budget coaching for businesses following the YNAB way. And he gets these business owners to ask, how would I feel if my money were doing these things? So when you get to that final 4, after you've run your bracket all the way through all the different rounds, all the way through the March Madness, you get to those final 4, you look here and you say, how will I feel when my money's doing that? How will I feel when my money's doing this? How will I feel when I'm paying down my debt rapidly? How will I feel when I'm putting away even a little bit for my kids' college? How will I feel when I'm saving for that vacation that I've been wanting to take for a decade, right? How will I feel? Because at the end of the day, you got to make sure that the bracket that you end up with is the bracket you actually wanted. And by bracket, I meant budget. I'll see you guys next week.